Welcome. Today we will see next part of the worm gear. First of all, we will see proportions of worm gears. Now the figure shows worm and worm wheel. In the diagram there are different dimensions. First of all, we will see for the worm. D1 is pitch circle diameter of the worm. DA1 is addendum circle diameter of the worm. TF1 is dedendum circle diameter of the worm. HA1 is known as addendum of the worm. HF1 is known as dedendum of the worm. Gamma is known as lead angle, and Px is nothing but axial pitch. Now we will see for the worm wheel. Same. D2 is the pitch circle diameter of the worm wheel. DA2 addendum circle diameter of the worm wheel. DF2 dedendum circle diameter of the worm wheel. HA2 addendum of the worm wheel. HF2 dedendum of the worm wheel. Therefore, we will see the different proportions of the worm gears. HA1 is equal to M. M is nothing but module in mm. HF1 is equal to 2.2 cos gamma minus 1 into bracket into M. C is equal to clearance is equal to 0.2 M cos gamma, where HA1 is equal to addendum in mm. HF1 is equal to dedendum in mm. C is equal to clearance in mm. The outside and root diameters of the worm are expressed as follows. DA1 is equal to D1 plus 2HA1, which is equal to QM plus 2M. Therefore, DA1 is equal to M into bracket Q plus 2. Similarly, DF1 is equal to D1 minus 2HF1, which is equal to QM minus 2M into bracket 2.2 cos gamma minus 1. Therefore, DF1 is equal to M into bracket Q plus 2 minus 4.4 cos gamma, where DA1 is equal to outside diameter of the worm and DF1 is equal to root diameter of the worm in mm. Similarly, the dimensions of the worm wheel can be expressed. The addendum and dedendum of the worm wheel are expressed at the throat. They are given by HA2 is equal to M into bracket 2 cos gamma minus 1. HF2 is equal to M into bracket 1 plus 0.2 cos gamma, where HA2 is equal to addendum at the throat in mm. HF2 is equal to dedendum in the median plane in mm. The dimensions of the worm wheel are as follows. DA2 is equal to D2 plus 2HA2, which is equal to MZ2 plus 2M into bracket 2 cos gamma minus 1. Therefore, DA2 is equal to M into bracket Z2 plus 4 cos gamma minus 2. DF2 is equal to D2 plus 2HF2, which is equal to MZ2 minus 2M into bracket 1 plus 0.2 cos gamma. Therefore, DF2 is equal to M into bracket Z2 minus 2 minus 0.4 cos gamma, where DA2 is equal to throat diameter of the worm wheel in mm. DF2 is equal to root diameter of the worm wheel in mm. The effective face width F of the worm wheel is shown in figure. It is obtained by drawing a tangent AB to the pitch circle diameter of the worm. See that this is the pitch circle diameter. This AB is tangential to the pitch circle diameter. A and B are the points of intersection of this tangent and the outside diameter of the worm. See that A and B, these points are intersection of this tangent and the outside diameter of the worm. Where this tangent line AB intersects, outside diameter of the worm, this is point A, this is point B. From triangle AOC, AC square is equal to AO square minus OC square. Therefore, AC means F by 2 square is equal to DA1 divided by 2 bracket square minus D1 divided by 2 bracket square, which is equal to into bracket m plus m into bracket q plus 2 divided by 2 bracket square minus qm divided by 2 bracket square. Therefore f is equal to 2m plus root of q plus 1. From triangle OZC1, O, then Z, then C1, sine of delta, this is delta, C1Z divided by OZ, C1Z divided by OZ, which is equal to f divided by 2 divided by dA1 plus 2c divided by 2. Therefore delta is equal to sine inverse of f divided by dA1 plus 2c. The length of the root of the worm wheel teeth is the arc xyz, which is denoted by LR. Therefore LR is equal to arc xyz, which is equal to 2 delta divided by 2 pi into pi into bracket dA1 plus 2c, which is equal to dA1 plus 2c into delta. Therefore LR is equal to dA1 plus 2c into sine inverse of f divided by dA1 plus 2c. Now we will see force analysis of worm wear. The analysis of three components of the resultant force between the meshing teeth of worm and worm wheel is based on the following assumptions. First, the worm wheel is the driving element while the worm wheel is the driven element. The worm has right-handed threads. The worm rotates in anti-clockwise directions as shown in the figure. Figure is next page. See that this is the worm, it rotates in anti-clockwise direction. The three components of the gear tooth force between the worm and the worm wheel are shown in figure. Next figure is there. Suffix 1 is used for the worm while suffix 2 for the worm wheel. Now this P1T is nothing but tangential force on the worm. Similarly, P1R is nothing but radial force acting on the worm. P1A is nothing but axial or thrust force acting on the worm. Similarly, P2T tangential force acting on the worm wheel. P2R radial force acting on the worm wheel. P2A axial force or thrust force acting on the worm wheel. Therefore, P1T is equal to tangential component on the worm in Newton. P1A is equal to axial component on the worm in Newton. P1R is equal to radial component on the worm in Newton. The components P2T, P2A and P2R acting on the worm wheel are defined in a similar way. The force acting on the worm wheel is equal and opposite reaction of the force acting on the worm. Therefore, P2T is equal to P1A, P2A is equal to P1T and P2R is equal to P1R. In the present analysis, the expressions are derived for the components of force acting on the worm. The components of force acting on the worm wheel can be determined by the above relationship, that is this relationship. P2T is equal to P1A, P2A is equal to P1T and P2R is equal to P1R. The resultant force acting on the worm consists of two components. Components of normal reaction between the meshing teeth and components of frictional force. The two components are superimposed to get the resultant components. Now in this diagram, this shows the components of normal reaction. This is the diagram. This is the pitch helix, direction of motion that is in anti-clockwise direction. Now from this diagram, here two triangles are separated, that is two rectangles are separated, ABCD and AEBF or AFBE, which shows in this diagram alpha, that is pressure angle is there, and in this diagram gamma, that is lead angle is there. Therefore, the components of normal reaction P acting on the worm are shown in figure, that is this figure. Here alpha is the normal pressure angle while gamma is the lead angle. Note that the angle alpha is in the plane ABCD shaded by dots, while the angle gamma is in the top plane AEBF. Resolving the normal direction P in the plane ABCD shown in figure. Therefore, this is normal direction P, Pn normal component, Pr radial component. Therefore, Pn is equal to P cos alpha and Pr is equal to P sin alpha. Similarly, from this diagram AEBF, we are getting axial force or thrust force PA is equal to Pn cos gamma and tangential force Pt is equal to Pn sin gamma. Substituting values of Pn, therefore we are getting Pt is equal to P cos alpha sin gamma and Pa is equal to P cos alpha cos gamma and Pr is equal to P sin alpha. The frictional force is significant in the worm gear drives because there is sliding motion between the threads of the worm and the teeth of the worm wheel as compared with the rolling motion between the teeth of the pinion and gear in other types of gears. The resultant frictional force is mu P, where mu is the coefficient of friction. The direction of the frictional force will be along the pitch helix and opposite to the direction of rotation as shown in figure. Therefore, this is the mu P cos gamma, this is mu P sin gamma, this is gamma, this is mu P, that is resultant frictional force. Frictional force is along the pitch helix. Therefore, there are two components of the frictional force. First, component mu P cos gamma in the tangential direction, that is this mu P cos gamma in the tangential direction. The direction of this component is same as that of Pt. Component mu P sin gamma is in the axial direction, that is this axial direction. This axis is here mu P sin gamma. The direction of this component is opposite to that of Pa. Therefore, superimposing the components of normal direction and frictional force, we have P1T is equal to P cos alpha sin gamma plus mu P cos gamma. Therefore, P1T is equal to P into bracket cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma. Similarly, P1A is equal to P cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma. Therefore, P1A is equal to P into bracket cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma, and P1R is equal to P sin alpha. In practice, the tangential component P1T on the worm is determined from the torque that is transmitted from the worm to the worm field. Therefore, P1T is equal to 2mt divided by d1, equation 1. P1A is equal to P1T into cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma divided by cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma, equation 2. And P1R is equal to P1T into bracket P1T into sin alpha divided by cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma, equation 3. Now we will see efficiency of worm gear drive. The efficiency of worm gear drive is given by efficiency of power output divided by power input, which is equal to P2T into D2 divided by 2 into N2 divided by P1T into D1 divided by 2 into N1. We know that N2 upon N1 is equal to 1 divided by I. Therefore, D2 upon D1 is equal to mZ2 divided by mQ is equal to Z2 upon Q, which is equal to Z2 upon Z1 divided by Q upon Z1, which is equal to I tan gamma. From equation A, B and C, efficiency is equal to P2T divided by P1T into tan gamma, which is equal to P1A upon P1T into tan gamma. Therefore, we are getting efficiency is equal to tan gamma into cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma divided by cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma. Therefore, efficiency is equal to cos alpha minus mu tan gamma divided by cos alpha plus mu cot gamma. The efficiency of spur or helical gear is very high and virtually constant in the range of 98 to 99%. On the other hand, the efficiency of the worm gears is low and varies considerably in the range of 50 to 98%. In general, the efficiency is inversely proportional to speed ratio, provided that the coefficient of friction is constant. Okay, we will stop here. Thank you very much.